Welcome to another episode of Me and My Friends Podcast, the Black Man Perspective. We have some great topics for you today and two great guests. Introduce yourself, please, James.
How you doing? This is James. I'm from Fort Myers, Florida, and we got some interesting topics that are to discuss today, and I can't wait to get started on another great podcast.
This is Will Cannon, upstate New York, Rochester, New York, and all right, I'm ready to get started.
All right, the biggest name this summer has been Kevin Durant. Everyone wanted to know if he was going to stay or go. He decided to go to the Warriors who won a championship last year, and the Warriors who beat him and his team after they were down 3-1. He got a lot of flack for that. They were comparing him to LeBron. They said he should never left. If he would leave and go anywhere, he just can't go to Warriors. How do you feel about it? Do you agree with it? How do you feel about it? James, you can go first.
Oh, Kevin Durant lost all respect for me. As soon as he stepped into Golden State and signed his initials on each checkbox to say he was a Golden State Warrior. I'm a competitive person. You just don't go to a team that you're competing with, that the other team kicked your teammate in the nuts, and you want to sign with them. Nah. You have lost every bit of respect that any basketball player from here to Charles Barkley would ever have for you. It's not like when LeBron went to Miami and he had Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. Because he didn't physically compete with these guys on a level where, hey, I'm trying to win a championship with Cleveland, because Cleveland wasn't that type of team. But Oakland was. Oklahoma City did play in the playoffs against them, numerous times, and they were trying to fight for a championship. You didn't do this back in the day when you had, Jordan versus Bird, or Olajuwon versus Ewing. That's like Patrick Ewing going to Houston and saying, you know what, come on, Houston, let's win a championship. Me and Olajuwon are going to do this. Nah.
I'm a Knicks fan, so Patrick's my guy. All right, Will, how you feel?
Well, in this, I went through like 5 emotional states here. I went from, number one, being stunned and losing all respect, and I simultaneously still have lost respect for him. I agree with James. How I view Kevin Durant, what was stunning about this is that how I viewed him is clearly in contrast to how he viewed himself. I was of the opinion that if you are up on a team 3-1 and they come back, then the very last thing on earth you'd ever want to do is join them. You can't wait till next season to get it going and to prove to the world that you're better than them. Because to me, if you're up 3-1, anybody I know, you had to believe you're better than them. LeBron James was down 3-1, and he was down 3-1. And obviously, for that team to produce the results and come back, if there was one guy on that court who believed that 3-1 was not a big deal, it had to be LeBron James. And when I look at Kevin Durant and see you up 3-1, and you don't believe that you're better than the Warriors, you somehow think they're better than you, that's stunning. I thought you were more of a competitor. That's stunning. And the other part is that the other part of me is the drama side, which in a sense can't wait to see what's going to happen, because it's quite a story. I mean, this is going to be historic, whether it fails or they're successful.
Right.
So if they go out and win a championship, I definitely will not respect that championship in the same way I did not respect LeBron James' Miami championships, the same way I respected the Cleveland one. And I'm not going to respect this at the same level. But, oh, boy, if they fail, oh, my goodness. Mm-hmm. If they do not win a championship, boy, what a story. So there's a tremendous pressure. I've lost some respect for Stephon Curry, Green, and Thompson, because I couldn't do it. I tell you, once again, I play a lot of sports, not organized, but league games. But I couldn't believe when I heard out of Stephen Curry and his teammates' mouth that they were recruiting Kevin Durant in the 73-9 season. That was stunning. I mean, what happened to the pride? What, 73-9, and you believe that you need Kevin Durant? I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing to think that they thought they needed him. Once again, this is the new NBA. Everybody's friends.
We'll get to that.
And I'll just end it by saying that I miss the old days. And when I look at guys like Kobe Bryant, I was never a Kobe Bryant fan, but boy, do I miss the old days. I miss the old days where guys were okay with being enemies.
Okay, we'll get to that. But let me just say my piece. So the Kevin Durant thing shocked me to go to the Warriors. I believe he was leaving though. I didn't think he was gonna stay. It shocked me to go to the Warriors, but not because of the whole situation of them beating him. The whole situation for me is, at the end of the day, it's still one ball. When you have so many shooters on a team, you have 3 or 4 guys. Curry's going to get his shots. Thompson's going to get his shots. And Curry's going to make it a way for Kevin Durant to get his shots, right? Draymond's going to get shots. Iguodala's going to get shots. These guys are still going to get shots. So I don't. At the end of the day, it's only one ball. You can't shoot 2-3 balls at a time. So as a shooter and as a scorer, that kind of shocked me in the sense of that would be like Melo saying, I'm going to a team with a whole bunch of shooters. Kobe Bryant is prime saying, I'm going to a team with a whole bunch of shooters. These guys are shooters by nature. So
the entire team.
Right. So when you
the entire offense is set up that way.
Right. So when you go to a team with shooters, you say, now I have to share shots. Now you may be on one night, it may be your night, it may be his night, and then it's my night. Or it might be my nights for 3 games and then their night for 2 games. And so it's going to reduce his notoriety and his fame and his shots. So that shocked me. But I don't think it was a killer because, I don't want to compare, but at the end, LeBron left twice. So if we want to compare that, LeBron left twice. And we have to, like you said, we're going to get to the new NBA thing. But I don't see the disrespect part with Curry and them guys because at the end of the day, those guys aren't like guys that say, well, it's just my team, it's our team. They want to bring people into their fame. They want to bring people into that train and get everybody on the boat. And because they want to have fun. They're having fun, but they want to win at the same time. And I think Kevin Durant gives them the opportunity to win long term, not just compete every couple of years. As long as they can win long term. They may only win 1 championship or 2 championships out of this, but they'll be able to compete long term and set themselves in position to win long term. Now I know James is itching to your response, so James, go. All right, James, go.
First of all, I don't even think Kevin Durant was even the best player in Oklahoma City. I think Russell Westbrook was the best player in Oklahoma City. I was always a Westbrook fan. I thought the team did better when Kevin Durant wasn't even in the game. Second, I want to address, Will's comment what he made about, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
Draymond Green.
Yeah, Draymond Green, the nut kicker. He is recruiting these people. But you got to look at the age of these basketball players. Steph Curry is how old?
28.
28. All right. And Draymond Green is a little bit younger.
Much younger. They're 25, in that range.
I think the youth has lost that edge that, I'm going to get you sucker type edge, and it says a lot about your character where you want to just pile on to a team like this is the New York Yankees or something, and you want to try to win the championship. When you're already smoking teams, already blowing them out by 50. So what, man? You want to get rid of what's the big guy name? The big white guy who was left for Louis.
Bogut?
Yeah, Bogut. Yeah, you got rid of Bogut. Now you're going to have Kevin Durant in that position type because he's like more like a center / point guard / small forward type guy. Yeah. He can't. That's why they want to put him at center, Or they want to have Draymond at center and have, Durant at power forward. However the new NBA is going because the Sixers are going to some kind of that matchup too.
So here's
and a lot of teams are doing that. Go ahead.
Here's the question. The new NBA is changing. This is not the first time it's changed. A lot of people are moving towards, getting the ball up and down the court, scoring a lot of points. You see Mike D'Antoni was hired as a coach in Houston. They pretty much hired him and basically told Dwight Howard to kick rocks. Dwight Howard had not signed with the Hawks until after D'Antoni was brought on. D'Antoni's not
for a lot less money than one would expect.
Right, and Dwight Howard he already dealt with the whole D'Antoni situation. D'Antoni's not big on playing defense. He wants to score. That's what James Harden wants to do. So the new NBA is the new NBA. Do you like the new NBA? Do you hate the new NBA? Can you embrace it, even though we're old school and we like older basketball? Can you embrace the new NBA where these young guys want to run, want to have fun, and let's just score?
I hate it. But I'm gonna let Will go. But I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with change that I like. I mean, I don't want to go too deep. I'm okay with any change as long as I like it.
Yeah.
What I like about it is that I'll use Cleveland for an example. Cleveland proved, like a lot of teams in the past, St. Louis Rams that won championship with Kurt Warner, right? Mm-hmm. It's good to be different, and it's good for tradition to prove that different ain't gonna last. So, yeah, you got Kevin Durant now. Well, that makes different a whole lot better. But if you were to bring back that same Warriors team, I believe that the league, Cleveland and Oklahoma in consecutive series, has shown the world how to beat Cleveland, and I think that how to beat the Warriors. And I believe teams even like Boston, Pistons, even teams that weren't that good, we're going to go into next season knowing, okay, this team doesn't really like to get physical. So that's something that Oklahoma City and your point guard, whoever Steph Curry's guarding, whether he's good, great, or whatever, this guy has to be ready to score and shoot a lot and make Curry work on the defensive end all night long and get physical. Curry does not like to get physical. So I think that a blueprint has been shown, and I think that, well, now if you add Kevin Durant, well, my goodness, that's kind of stacking the deck. But I think if the Warriors, it would have been very interesting to see what Steph Curry and the Warriors would have came back next season, because I would have liked to see Steph Curry expand his game, and I felt like this is like a bailout move. Instead of responding like a true champion to adversity and to losing, it's kind of like a bailout move. We're just going to get Kevin Durant. And so I don't care for the NBA, and I think that LeBron James proved that the old way, and the Cavaliers proved that the old way is just fine.
Okay.
Well, I think that the Cavaliers are kind of shifting towards a new way too about running and gunning, because you got more point forwards now. And yeah, you did have point forwards back in the day with Magic Johnson. But if I see a 6'9", 6'10" guy always running the point, it just hurts my feelings. Like, go down low, go grab a board, go grab something, do something. Yeah, exactly. Serge Ibaka. Now, I mean, Sixers now got Ben Simmons and, the guy from the Pelicans, Anthony,
Davis.
What's his name? Who?
Anthony Davis?
Yeah, Anthony Davis. They always want to run the point.
I love them dudes. Al Jefferson.
Millsap, go down low.
Atlanta loves them type of dudes.
But
that's why you see a high turnover rate.
Yeah.
That's why you see, these big shooting the ball. Yeah, you know what? They're about, 40% from, beyond where they're really supposed to be. But that really kills the stats. It really, it kind of breaks down the game a little differently. And I just don't like where it's trending to. For me, I'm about 5'10", 5'11", I always wanted to play ball. I knew I was too short to play. And, I always wanted to be Khalid El-Amin. If, you guys, I don't know if you guys remember that, but, UConn player.
UConn, it was Richard Jefferson.
Yep.
And couldn't buy through an NBA.
Nope. And to me, I wanted to be a point guard, but I knew my height was point guard. And I think certain of these players, they have no idea where their height puts them at. You have someone that's like, 6'10", trying to play point, like Ben Simmons. Just like you said, Will, I don't think it's going to last long. I don't.
The only negative I have is I'm a big man guy. I love the Patrick Ewings, the Tim Duncans, the Elijah Wans. I love those guys. And to me, when you shift the whole league, it doesn't allow them to flourish. When Dwight was in his prime, he couldn't be stopped. I wasn't a huge Shaq fan, but Shaq put a mark on the league. But Tim Duncan, and see guys like that essentially getting pushed out the way and being told, you don't fit this team, or you don't fit this team, you don't fit this team. And, it's tough because I want to see my big man get 20 points, 10 boards, a few assists here and there, a couple of blocks. But now you have big men, they just play defense. That's all they want them to do. They want to pay you to just get boards of DeAndre Jordan.
Andrew Bogut.
That's all they want you to do. Get boards, get a few blocks, and go sit down. You don't even get a chance to touch the ball unless it's a putback or, alley-oop or stuff like that. And, I think it takes away because at the end of the day, you see a lot of times when the team gets flustered and you need a quick basket or you need a basket close to the rim, a three ain't going to help you. A contested jumper from the outside ain't going to help you. But you give it to your big man, he can get you a layup, a dunk, hook shot. There's things that's closer and more higher percentage. So I just think the way that the league is shifting it hurts the center and the true power forward position. So
it's kind of like the running back in the NBA. I mean, like the running back position in the NFL is just slowly going away, because now you got running backs that's like a dime a dozen.
A true running back, right? Because now they put them in the passing formations. They put them out to block and put them out to, play action fake plays and stuff like that. So
yeah, and in the new NBA, you have some of the greats like, Tim Duncan and Kevin Durant, who they would be like, oh, well, you can't shoot threes? You can't play the four?
Right.
Well, you're going to have to ride a bench.
Right.
And so, I think it's trending in the wrong direction. But the thing is, I think things have a way. All you need is another Shaq. This is a copycat league. The teams are following the Warriors, right? All you need is another Shaq. You got this Thon Maker coming out. This guy, I forget what team he got drafted by. But all you need is another Shaq. All you need is for a different type of offense, a traditional offense, a more progressive offense, to start winning and win a championship, and everybody else follows suit.
Right. And
it can go back to the center real quick. All you need is a team that has a center that's dominant, that uses a center in a traditional way, and everybody go back.
He better be fast, because I don't think Shaq even can keep up with some of the centers now.
Well, it don't have to be fast. Because look, if
you had Shaq and the Warriors, you'd have to use them. You just have to dump the ball down there about 15 times a game, wouldn't you? You'd be crazy not to.
And also,
that would make you, if you put Shaq and the Warriors in his prime, they'd be unstoppable.
And also, you look at these owners would be, have a lot of pressure on them to find the next big man. Say, for instance, a big man comes out next season. They'd be like, oh, I want a big man like this. These guys would have to invest in looking for someone like that. Right now, they're looking for guys like Steph Curry, looking for guys like, the Durants and the Wades of the game. So they're looking for guys like that. So, it would be harder for them to do that. So anyway, that's a great discussion on that. The next topic we want to discuss is your boy Tom Brady. His appeal was denied, and it upheld the previous court's decision that he has to sit out 4 games at the beginning of the season from his activity in the Deflategate game a few years ago against the Colts. Okay, here's the question. If you were Tom Brady, would you just sit out and let the Players Association deal with it on the back end, i.e. not in the media? Or would you just say, listen, I have to fight this for future players?
See, that's kind of a hard decision for me because, I said this on my Facebook. It's like voting for Hillary or for Trump. Either way, you got 2 bad people.
You're
going to lose regardless, But the question was, if I was Tom Brady.
You were Tom Brady.
If I was Tom Brady and I was married to that beautiful, gorgeous model.
Speak on it now.
Giselle. I would definitely fight, because I hate Roger Goodell. I think what Roger Goodell has done to the league he didn't put kid gloves and panties on everybody, and he just has to be stopped, So if I was Tom, I would definitely appeal this decision because it has his I think they got him on like abuse for like a sports enhancement drug or something that they just came out with, and then they pretty much put it back. So his 4-game suspension was stand, which has nothing to do with
So the main issue
incident
with his 4 games is that he did not cooperate with the league's investigation. He destroyed his cell phone. He did not allow the people to present evidence in the sense of those two guys who worked for the Patriots at the time. He did not make himself available. Now, those were their words, and he said he was available. So we don't know what specifically available means, but that's what they are suspending him 4 games for not cooperating with the investigation. Not that he did something wrong. They believe he did not cooperate because they believe he did something wrong, but they have no proof, which is the kicker, that he actually did something wrong or knowingly did something wrong. They just have proof that he did not willingly assist them in the investigation.
My thing is, even if he deflated the balls, it's not going to make a difference. It really is not. And I hate the Patriots.
I hate the Patriots. But why do it? But anyway, before I get to my point, we'll go ahead.
Okay. Well, first, let me give my disclaimer. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible. I reside in Western New York, and we hate Tom Brady.
Yes, sir.
That being the case, I'm going to try to be objective. Now, even though I do not like Tom Brady, what I always say about any player I don't like, Kobe Bryant, people I wasn't a fan of, if I don't like you, at some level you probably had to be great. Because who hates the losers,
Right.
So, I don't hate players, Brady Quinn, I don't hate 10 people, But Tom Brady is a great quarterback, and I can't deny that. And as being in Western New York, I mean, you sit there and you look at what they do. I mean, it's phenomenal. Even with all the cheating, you just can't perform at that level if you're not good. Beyond Deflategate, beyond all these other controversies, you have to, have something. I mean, Tom Brady is a great quarterback. Now, if I was him, he has no choice. Because first of all, if I'm him, I have fought this thing all the way, and at this point, it doesn't matter whether the suspension gets overturned. You got to go down to him. Took it this far. This is a battle between you and Robert Goodell. There's absolutely no way at this point that you can bow out. You have no choice. You're not going to win the appeal. I really don't believe he's going to win the appeal.
Right.
But you have to at least go out fighting. It's more of an integrity thing. At this point, you have to preserve your integrity. You have nothing to gain by quitting. You might as well fight to the end. So if I was Tom Brady, I wouldn't give up. You might as well. And my bias side of me says I'm glad to see him missing 4 games, but the reality is I'm not too sure that a 4-game suspension will make sure the Patriots don't go back to the Super Bowl and don't win again, because they're that kind of organization. Matter of fact, those 4-game suspension might ensure that they don't lose a game after that, and they march right on the Super Bowl. That's what they do. They respond to controversy with more Super Bowls.
So the next step for this is the Supreme Court, right? Mm-hmm. In my opinion,
remember how many members we got? 8 now?
There's 8 members of the Supreme Court now. That's the question, though. Would you, given the situation that the Supreme Court, we want to be honest. Let's say the Supreme Court is for serious issues, right? Do you really think they should be messing with the NFL?
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? So to me, it's a bad PR move as Tom Brady. Even as a fan, like you said, I hate Tom Brady, but I respect his game. He's obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the league ever. But I don't want to waste taxpayers' dollars. I don't want a bad legacy saying I wasted taxpayers' dollars, I wasted time, wasted energy to take essentially a football case, not a criminal case, essentially a football case where it's about sports, where there's more important things that Supreme Court should be ruling on.
Hello?
Yeah. So to me, in my opinion, if I was Tom Brady, I don't think I would bring that case to the Supreme Court just because, to me, in my opinion, the Supreme Court is for serious cases. But then again, we've seen different steroid cases, obviously, on Capitol Hill and stuff like that. So if you were Tom Brady, would you take it to the Supreme Court? That's the only way he can go. Do you want that type of PR?
I don't think he has a choice. I think at this point it's a fight. And I could think of Roger Clemens. I could think of Barry Bonds. I could think of Marion Jones. I could think of a whole lot of athletes. Yep. If the Supreme Court would have got that thing overturned, they would have no problem. I don't think
I don't think they're concerned about the role of the Supreme Court as a person who's not in it, can think objectively. I think their only goal is victory. I think for any of those people I just named and even others, I think if the Supreme Court could get them off, they do it in a heartbeat. And I think your question was, should you? I don't know if you should, because I feel like if I'm in that situation, I don't know. I feel like I'll be a hypocrite to say no, because if I'm in, I might say yes. So I feel like just from his perspective, your only goal is to win this. And if that's what it takes, I mean, you've seen Supreme Court oversee some ridiculous cases that don't even involve sports.
Right.
Some of the cases they oversee.
Right.
So I say, why not?
Well, I definitely concur with that. If this is poker, he got all his chips in. You might as well wait for that turn card. You can't turn back now.
Yeah.
So he definitely got to see this through and hold his ground. I just hope Roger Goodell, this is his last hurrah. Because the way he's taking the NFL is awful. Awful. I mean, you see, he got booed every time he took the podium at the draft. Booed. Fans don't like him. Players don't like him. He needs to go. Maybe Adam Silver too. Both of them.
What? Adam Silver's my guy.
He got it.
I like Adam Silver, but the reason I don't kind of have sympathy for these guys is because when you have these talks when it comes to NFL and NFL owners, they had a decision. They could have got rid of him then. They had a decision. So once
decided to give more money.
Yeah, and they gave him not only the court, they gave him the judge, the bailiff, he the whole court. He the janitor, the maintenance guy, he the person to turn the lights on and change the light bulb. He's everybody, and he's a appeal court. So when you give somebody more power at a time, you can tell them you should go or you should be fired. You gotta live with that. It may not be now, it may not be later, but eventually you have to deal with that. But anyway,
like James said, they followed the money.
Right.
They flashed that money in front of them, and they looked the other way with his power until the dust settled. Like James said, now they can see, but when they put that green in front of their face, they're like, listen, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah. It's a salary cap, so all that money that they make in between that salary cap is all theirs. That commission money, that, team name money, they get all of that, It's not like it's baseball where you can, get more money and they always got to shell out more money because they get certain players. Nah, they pocket all that stuff. That's their money. So they need a commission that says, hey, we want to keep this, salary cap under control because we don't want to play these, these big dummies smash themselves with helmets, a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, it's too much, man. But anyway, that was a great conversation, great point. The last point I want to talk about is the Hack and Shaq rule, the new rule, where if you foul somebody and they don't have the ball, they're not making a basketball move or whatever. Now it's one shot in the ball. So basically, it punishes the team to not only get a rebound, but to play defense again, if the person misses or makes the shot. This does not eliminate the Hack and Shaq rule. It actually increased it because it's all the last 2 minutes of each quarter. It used to be last 2 minutes of the halves. Do you think this will reduce the chances of it being used to allegedly slow down the team or, take points off the board or whatever? Would you use the Hack and Shaq rule, the new Hack and Shaq rule, if you was a coach?
Yes, I would. Because that does nothing to stop stop what I'm trying to do or what I was trying to do with Hack and Shaq move. Because what that does is it puts a bad free throw shooter on the line. Even if you get the ball back, guess what? I'm going to foul him again. Because guess what? Because if I foul him again, he ain't going to make those either. But guess what came off the clock? Time. Time came off that clock. So if I'm at the end of the game and it's 15 seconds left and I'm up by 4, yeah, I'm grabbing Dwight Howard. I'm jumping on the back of what's that guy who can't shoot from Orlando?
Andre Drummond is one.
Yeah, Andre Drummond. Oh yeah, I'm jumping on his 6'11" back. Yep,
he's one of the.
They all getting fouled. Got to be Noah too.
Oh yeah, he's sorry.
Yeah.
Will, how you feel?
It's funny because as I sit here as a fan, when I watch it on TV, I look at like Greg Popovich as an example, and I'm just like, wow, how could you lower yourself? When I'm with James, I'm going to lower my integrity too. You know? if integrity is standing in the way, I got to be home and judge him. But if the integrity is standing in the way of me in the championship, I'm going to lower all my standards and integrity. I'm going to walk over that trophy. As long as they have the rule, you have no choice. You have to. I mean, half the Shaq is obviously going along. I mean, it's been around since I don't know about the beginning of the time, but they've been around since at least Shaquille O'Neal's entire career.
Yeah.
And the problem is that Shaquille O'Neal was a better free throw shooter than Jordan from the Clippers and Drummond. I mean, these guys are atrocious. And I want to say it's a boy from the Sixers. It's one guy shooting like 30%. He's a real young guy. I forget what team he plays for.
Noel.
What's his name?
Lawrence Noel. Noel.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, when you're shooting those kind of numbers, you have no choice. And these guys are that terrible. And I would not let integrity separate me from a win and definitely not a title. I'm on board.
Here's my issue with this whole thing, right? To me, it forces players to not get better. It allows people to get paid $20 million and not be better. When Shaq was at his prime, they had coaches trying to make him better. They would hire players trying to make him better. They would have him do this to make it better. They would make sure, even if he missed them during the game, when the game on the line, when he had to make them, he made enough where it didn't cost his team losses. These guys are costing their team losses, and I'm not going to say that they're not practicing or working hard at it because I don't know. What I'm saying is these guys seem like they're not even trying. And when you change rules like this, you allow them to say, well, now I'm not going to shoot 100 free throws a game because they changed the rules, so I probably won't get fouled as much. Or it doesn't even matter because now it allows teams to even think about, well, they got one and they get the ball and I get the ball to my shooter. My shooter can shoot a jump shot. My shooter can get fouled now. It allows guys to not work hard. You see what I'm saying? To me, free throws are part of the game. You not only have to work on your offense, you not have to work on your conditioning, work on your defense, you have to work on free throws. And to me, that says, well, you know, guys, don't worry about that. Make $20 million and don't know how to shoot a free throw. Make $25 million and can't make a free throw. That's the problem I have.
And I think that, you know, I was looking earlier, Shaq's career free throw percentage is 52%. DeAndre Jordan is 42. And that guy we're just talking about is even lower. So I feel, here's the difference, and I think this is another reason why Shaq got the pass. You know, there was points in Shaq's career where he MVP, he won MVPs. He was Finals MVP regular season. He was averaging 28, 29 points a game. The problem is Drummond, and DeAndre Jordan. If these guys are averaging 30 points a game, and those missed free throws don't mean as much. Okay.
Right.
I think the other thing he rebounds, but he is not a scoring threat, which makes it look so much worse for DeAndre Jordan. Shaquille O'Neal always try to disrespect him, in my opinion, by saying he was the most dominant player in the game, but not the best. I never really figured that out. Maybe you figured that out. Are you the most dominant? You're not the best. People love to say about Shaq. But for me, for a long time, he's arguably the best in the game. Obviously, he was playing along the same time with Tim Duncan and Kevin Durant and even Michael Jordan. So you had, but to say he was the most dominant player in the game, but not the best. But at a time when Shaq was of his career, 28 points a game, 15 rebounds, 2 or 3 blocks a game, right? I mean, if DeAndre Jordan put up those kind of numbers, he could be on my team averaging 42% free throw. But with this guy's offense, lack of offense, I mean, he might average 8 points a game. It is real sad. DeAndre Jordan, for me, I'm not a fan of him. There's no way I'm paying that guy that kind of money who has no offense.
$20 million.
I mean, he has no offense, and to have no offense and to get up there and break the free throw, that's just atrocious. It's probably that the money spent on him is probably a reason why the Clippers won't win the title. I mean, that's just, if they do, they do. But I think the biggest difference is if you're averaging 28, 29, 30 points a game and you're missing those free throws, I think people look the other way.
I kind of disagree with DeAndre Jordan. I think that he doesn't score on the offensive side of the ball, but he brings something to the offense. Like, he gets offensive rebounds. He sets mean picks.
$20 million
You know?
for picks? $20 million for picks.
Yes, look, $20 million for picks. He sets a mean pick, and he gets all those rebounds. And I mean, underneath the basket, he is like dominant. Like he can, grab rebounds and put it back up. I mean, DeAndre Jordan, when what's his name? Big light skinned boy.
Blake Griffin.
Griffin. When Griffin went out this year, it was DeAndre down there getting them points.
Mm-hmm.
Now because you got Chris Paul, you got Jamal Crawford, you got Griffin all shooting. There's nothing for him to do.
Who does DeAndre Jordan like? I guess who does he remind you of? Because to me, historically, I can't think of a player that he reminds me of. I'm not. Maybe that's it. I can't put him in context because he seems so uniquely bad to me. But maybe he's not uniquely bad. Who would you say you would compare him to in history?
I think he's a black version of Todd McCullough. White guy from.
All right.
Yeah. But
shrimp or something like that. Okay.
No, definitely shrimp. I was gonna say Coleman, like Derek Coleman, but Derek Coleman, he was scoring. He was scoring, and he could shoot. Derek Coleman can shoot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
He was opposite. He was opposite. He didn't play defense at all. I mean, Derek Coleman didn't play. He came to Syracuse and decided not to play for an NBA career too.
So I think DeAndre Jordan is kind of, he has his own game that no one else has, because I don't know anyone who feels like him.
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting. I don't know. I don't want to pay a guy $20 million that can't give me 20 points. But
I love defense, the Lord.
Yeah, but you also have to look. They overspent because at the time with the whole Dallas situation, they did not want to lose him, so they were willing to match and overpay. And I think there was some issues with the whole Mark Cuban losing a lot of guys because he's Mark Cuban. He overplays his hand sometimes. Instead of doing things discreetly and orderly, he tweeting, texting, doing all that.
Mark Cuban's a butthole.
So he in the highway cheerleading before he.
I like Shark Tank, so I'm biased.
I like Shark Tank too, but I'm just saying, like when you're dealing with business, you have to leave social media alone sometimes,
Yeah.
But also,
when he came out with Kevin Durant, come on, bro, come on, man. What are you doing?
That's just for the fans to make money trying.
Right. That's what I was thinking. So I don't even know if he believes all this stuff. Because to me, Mark Cuban seems like a level-headed guy. But anyway, that was a great episode of Me and My Friends Podcast, A Black Man Perspective. We will definitely see you all next week. And thank you all for coming.
All right.